Hi there, my name is Dan Bergen, photography business growth consultant, and today what we're going to be talking about is conversion rates. Now that might sound really boring, but it's pretty cool because a few small changes and a few little cool ideas can double your business. And I say that, knowing that you hear these kind of claims all the time, but if you've got a bad conversion rate, it just takes a few small tweaks to be able to get a much better conversion rate, and that really can double your business. And I'm going to share with you my top 3 best conversion boosting tactics shortly in this video. So what your conversion rate really is the number of inquiries that come in and how many of those you can turn into paid bookings or sales. The more you can turn into paid bookings, the higher your conversion rate is. So if you currently get 100 inquiries a year and you turn 50 of those into bookings, then that's a 50% conversion rate. If you're getting 100 inquiries a year, but you're only turning 10 into paid bookings, then there's probably a big problem, but that's only a 10% conversion rate. So what we want to do is get your number up as high as possible so that, in a perfect world, every inquiry you got will turn into a paid booking. Now that's never going to be the case because some people just aren't after what you're offering, whether that's based on price or, just the very thing that you're offering. But you'll never get 100%. We just want you to get as good as you can. Now the whole point of increasing your conversion rate is obviously to grow your business, to be able to make more money more easily from your business, because you'll be talking to less people but doing more work, which is always a great thing. And another thing we want to really focus on is that if we're using paid advertising, we really need a good system for turning all those inquiries that we'll be getting from the money we're spending into paid clients. Because if they're not turning into paid clients, then we're wasting our money. And a few of those different tips and things that you can use to increase your conversion rate are things a lot of photographers would never even think about. It's things like the way you speak to them, just the general way you reply to a question, even the method of communication, whether that's email or text message or on the phone. All these things make a really big difference in your conversion rates. So I'm going to go over now my 3 top tactics, if you will, for increasing your conversion rate. Now, the first thing is to get them on the phone. I've said this a lot in the past, and I'm constantly talking to my private consulting clients about getting their inquiries on the phone. It does, it has a lot of really good benefits. Some of them are obvious, some not so much. The first is that you'll be able to build more rapport with that, that prospect. If you're talking to someone, you have a lot of back and forth, you can understand them more, you build more of just a rapport. They hear your voice, you hear theirs, there's tones, there's inflections in the voice, things that just can't be done by text or email, no matter how many emoticons you add in. It just doesn't work the same. So you build a greater rapport. Second is that it'll help you to understand what they want much more quickly, because of being able to talk to them, being able to ask them questions. And if you're the one who's able to show that you can give them what they want, then they're going to most of the time choose you. So by email or text message, it's really hard to do that because it's just sometimes what people say they want isn't exactly what they want, which is hard to explain, but I'm sure you'll know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you'll have a prospect who says they want one thing, but you can tell they kind of want something totally different. So getting them on the phone really helps you understand their exact desires and what exactly they want out of the job, so that you can explain to them that, yes, I can do that for you. Third is giving you the ability to ask them for an action. So that's obviously, you're not going to overtly on the phone say, sign up, do you want to book? Like, get your credit card, let's do this thing now. But you do want to get them to take some sort of next step, whether that's just getting in touch with you again or having you be able to call them again, where you say, can I give you a call on Friday, or can we meet up in person, or whatever it may be. It's some sort of you saying, let's do the next thing, and then them saying yes. So it's being able to ask for an action. By text and email, that's very hard. So those are three great benefits of getting someone on the phone, and that is really important. Now, I know you may hate going on the phone. Some people just absolutely hate getting on the phone. Some people love it because you can do things much more quickly on the phone. But just trust me in that getting on the phone is the best way to do things, even if you're not great on the phone. And often, once you're on the phone, you're fine. Often it's the thought of having the phone call that is the hardest part. But once you're on the phone and you're talking to the person and they're telling jokes, you're telling jokes, you're having a bit of fun, you're talking about cool ideas, all of that melts away and it becomes really easy. So just give it a try, at least for, let's say, the next 10 inquiries. If you don't see a better result than what you have been getting by doing emails or text, then go back to what you were doing, but at least do the next 10. Next, what you want to do is help them somehow. Now, that can be really anything, but it has to be you giving them something, some piece of advice, some, cool bit of information, some great idea. It has to feel like you're gifting them something. Now, you obviously can't physically gift every inquirer, a physical gift, but you can give them knowledge, you can give them ideas, you can give them, your creative ability, just a little piece of it. And by doing that, if you've read Robert Cialdini's book called Influence, you will have heard of when he talks about reciprocity. And that's when you give someone something, they feel like they're somewhat indebted to you. It's kind of like if one of your friends gives you a birthday present, when their birthday rolls around, you feel like you have to give them a birthday present in return. It's just reciprocity. So it's the same idea here. You're trying to give them something of some value in order for them to feel some slight level of indebtedness to you, like they owe you something. And that can really help you get more bookings. So some examples of that are, it's really any kind of information that will help them out. And it's even going so far as to give them information that they can then give to whichever photographer they choose to use. So, you could say, you don't want to put pressure on and say, like, these are ideas that I've got and I'll use them when we work together. But you can say things like, I'm going to send you a list of, my favorite poses I like couples to do, or just so that you can show your photographer. You don't have to use me, but you can show your photographer these poses. Or maybe they say, oh, we're getting married at X venue. And then you say, oh, great, I've worked there a couple of times, whatever it is. And before I've done a lot of scouting for locations around there, and I'll send you a list of the best places I found to take photos, just so that you can give that to your photographer. Now, it may sound like that's shooting you in the foot by giving away some of your best stuff. Like you could say, oh, I've got some really great locations in that spot. And if you use me, we can go to them. But by giving it away, it's giving them something. They will be putting more trust, and you'll be getting more credibility because you were so willing to help them out for no benefit to yourself. So give them something of value if you can. The third thing you can do is something that's really subtle, and it's hard to pinpoint how well this works, but I think it's pretty cool. And from the study I've done, I can see how it should work really well. Now, you can't say it's getting you jobs or not, but I think it's pretty cool, and you'll see what I mean. So what you want to do is start future pacing and talking about things as if they've already been done. So you could start talking about the job as if it's happened and they're looking back on it. So an easy way to do this is by when you're, if you're on the phone to them, you can say, okay, so I just want to get an idea of exactly what you're looking for. So imagine your wedding's already been, we're 2 months past your wedding. We've done I was the photographer for the wedding, and I've gotten a really good result. We're looking back on the photos. What are you seeing? What are the important things that I'm delivering to you? And so that's the end of that. But what it does is makes them think that, that they're imagining you as the photographer and them having a good result. They're really happy with the delivery, with the work you're giving to them. So it just helps them put you in that picture that you've done the work, they're happy with it, and that's basically it. So that's something you can try. That's a little NLP type trick, but it gets them thinking about the job being done, them being happy, and everything's good. So those are the 3 conversion boosting tactics that I recommend you give a go. They're not hard to implement at all, and I guarantee they'll increase your conversions a little, maybe a lot, depending on how good your conversions currently are. Give them a go and let me know what you think. If you like this video, please leave a comment down below. There's a little comment box. And if you're interested in consulting with me, just get in touch.